Here's 8 ways that I'm able to pull 8 or more shorts from a single long-form YouTube video. And this could honestly work with any niche. So the first and obvious example you could pull from a long-form edit is to simply make a short vertical 1-minute version of the recipe that includes the ingredients and the instructions on how to make that dish. I'll talk about how I schedule my shorts at the end after I go through all of the examples. And then I'll also give you a simple way that you can use your short form videos to direct viewers to your long form versions to get more views. One thing to also consider about this specific example is if there are multiple recipe videos that you can pull from that one long form version. In my sisig tacos recipe, I first had to make a crunchy pork belly. And this in itself can be its own recipe video, which I edited and posted across all my social media platforms. It hit 61K views on Instagram, 2.5 million views on TikTok, and 2.6 million on YouTube, which led to over 6,000 new subscribers. This would have never happened if I only made a short form version of the full recipe. I could also make a recipe reel on how to make Filipino sisig, and another TikTok could be on the corn salsa recipe that I use for the tacos. After a while, you're going to start to be able to anticipate what your audience is going to ask in the comments, and you'd be able to reply with a video. For example, in my hot pot at home video, I briefly mentioned a dipping sauce that I love when I eat hot pot, and I knew people were going to ask me for the recipe to the dipping sauce, so I made sure to film it, and I was able to reply and pin the comment in my sauce video. So when people watched my hot pot at home video and went to the comment section, they would see the pinned sauce question with a video as a reply, and it probably made them go watch that video next. And I was able to get multiple views from one person and potentially convert them into a follower. This is also a great way to engage and connect with your audience. It's like you're directly responding to them with a video that you made just for them. I pulled 4 videos from my hot pot recipe, and I got over 100 subs from that dipping sauce short alone. Also, I'm just going to use the word short form from now on, but when I say that, I mean a vertical 1-minute video that can be used as a YouTube short, Instagram or Meta Reel, and TikToks. The second example has to do with ingredients. In the long form video, was there a special ingredient that you used that you could make a short form edit talking about? Maybe you can share how you obtained it, or a little history on the ingredient and how it's often used, or how to store it so it stays fresh longer. It could also just be something weird like putting American cheese in your instant ramen. This can go a bunch of different ways, so you just got to use your imagination. But the main thing to remember is at the end of the video or at some point, mention the recipe that you use this ingredient in, so people will go and watch that video next. The third example is sharing a specific tool that you might have used in the recipe. This is also a great way to make income if you're doing Amazon affiliate links. I always like to share a short form video with any special tools that I used and how I use them. You can also maybe explain how the tool works, or why you like using it, or how it makes your life easier, or solves a problem in the kitchen. It's also a great idea to tag that company or brand, and they might see it. This could lead to a potential sponsorship or brand deal. And just like my last tip, you'll want to make sure that you mention the recipe that you made with this tool, so they'll go check that video out next. My fourth example is maybe creating a short form video on a special technique or kitchen hack that you might have used in the long form recipe. Maybe it was a way that you cut the vegetables or meat when you were prepping. Maybe it was a way you cooked or seared something. It could even be a way that you stored the food as leftovers or reheat them the next day. Just take a second to think about your recipe before you start cooking and filming. Some things that you just do without even thinking could be a great hack, or a technique that others don't even know about and could go viral. Sometimes I even just incorporate these techniques or hacks that I've seen online because it'll spark some engagement in the comments. The fifth example is what I like to call story time. Lisa, Janelle Eats, and the Korean Vegan do a great job at these. And it's basically where you might share a personal story over the video or the recipe being prepared. It could be related to the dish, but it doesn't have to be. And it could be about a memory that is connected to the recipe, or even a story about having it for the first time. It could be a story about making it for the first time and the struggles that you might have had. I'll have a link to an example of this video along with other examples that I'm giving in the description if you want to go watch those for some inspiration. The sixth example is kind of easy and difficult at the same time. It's making short-form ASMR cooking versions of that recipe. This is when you don't use any music or voiceover and you just let the natural audio of the cooking sounds play. It's easy to edit because you don't have to record a voiceover, but it's hard to capture great ASMR cooking sounds. I got another video that breaks down how to do this, and I'll put a link in the description of this video. The seventh example is what I like to call food porn shots. For this style, normally I'll just do a few short, maybe 2 to 3 second clips of the best looking shots of the dish. The edited video usually plays no longer than 5 to 15 seconds total, and it could just be one single shot as well. A lot of people might do something like a cheese pull or a pasta noodle lift, or cut a steak in half and show the cook, or pull a bone out of a rib or something. The most important tip I could give about these really short videos is that you want to start them and end them quickly. So get to the action, and then once it's over, cut the video. Don't let it drag on another few seconds, because this is going to mess with your video retention. If you have a 10-second video and only 3 seconds are worth watching, that means people are only consuming 30% of the video, which isn't good. You want 100% retention. The eighth and final one is maybe my favorite, and it's sharing behind the scenes of you making content. It could be a simple video of your setup for the shoot, or maybe it's a cool little video of showing how you captured a specific shot. It could even be a blooper. If you capture any BTS clips, you should share them in my Facebook group, Cooking Creators. It's a whole community of people just like you who are sharing and learning from each other with the goal to grow and make income from cooking videos. I'll put a link in the description of this video as well. You know, one of the hardest things about being a food content creator is not being able to batch shoot cooking videos. And even if you did go like gung-ho and film 5 recipes in a day, now you're stuck with all of that food that you need to eat before it goes bad. That's what I love about this short form technique. And I share a bunch of other great techniques on this channel and in my courses, like how to capture great voiceover audio for these shorts. So consider subscribing or becoming a YouTube channel member. You'll get special perks, and it helps support me as a creator so I can make more videos like this for you. So now that you got a bunch of examples and ideas for short form videos, it's great to just take a minute to think about what videos you can possibly do in addition to your long form cooking video. Then you just got to make sure that you plan and shoot those shots so that you have those later when it's time to edit. I got a whole other video on how I shoot horizontal and vertical videos at the same time with just one camera, and I'll be sure to put that in the description of this video too. When it comes to editing the videos, normally I'll edit my long form version first. Then in the same project, I'll create a new sequence or timelines for each short form version I plan to make. Then I'll edit those right after. This usually takes me a few days to do all of this, and I like to focus on one project at a time. So I'll make sure to edit all of the short form videos that I can from that one long form video. And I like to have them all finished, exported, and ready to upload and schedule. That way I never have to go back and open that project again in the future. I can just archive it on my storage hard drive and focus on the next recipe and do it all over again. When it comes to posting, it mostly depends on how many shorts I'll be able to make. I'll spread that out over weeks or months, and normally I'll post one short form video of that recipe a week. I always upload my long form recipe video first, and I like to have that go live on Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, so people on the East Coast still have time to catch it. My next video I'll post is going to be the short form recipe version of that video that goes live on Monday morning the following week across all my social media platforms. On TikTok and Instagram, I'll mention that the full recipe is on my YouTube channel and for them to go check it out. I never post a swipe up or link directly to the long form video on my Instagram story because this can greatly and negatively affect retention. If someone clicks that link and only watches 3 seconds of the long form video, then closes the app and goes back to scrolling on Instagram. One thing I will do though is on my YouTube Shorts, I'll post a comment with a link to the full video and then pin that comment to the top. I got some links and other helpful videos here and in the description. Give this video a like and buy me a super thanks if you found some value, and I'll catch you in the next one. Aloha.